afternoon. The aviation industry in Nigeria is bouncing back from COVID-19 pandemic. Although the carriers are not back to their pre-COVID levels, they have showed signs of recovery. Air carriers have increased connectivity within Nigeria, including the remote airports. The number of passengers who travel through domestic and international airports in Nigeria in 2021 was 15.23 million, surging by 45.32% from 2020, 10.48 million. From the public sector, the Nigerian government is still exploring the possibility of launching a new Nigerian national carrier, Nigerian Air, after the collapse of Nigerian Airways in 2003, among other challenges such as rising cost of aviation fuel, known as Jet A1, inflation at 24.08%, and scarcity of foreign exchange. Let's get talking this Monday afternoon. I have with me an aviation journalist and analyst, award-winning journalist, yes, Mr. Wale Shadari. He's also a friend of the house. It's good to have you in the studio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tolu.
Yes.
Good to be here.
Thank you so much. I must say that we are getting a lot of pronouncements from our ministers because, of course, a lot of work needs to be done. And the president has said, we are going to, monitor and evaluate whatever you do. So I want to first of all start this way. The minister was at the airport in Lagos. I've also seen him moving in Abuja and all of that. What to you is very, very significant in all that he has said so far that might change the look of things?
Thank you very much. I think the minister was in Lagos penultimate week and to see things for himself. We know that the Murtala Mohammed International, or the Murtala Mohammed Airport is the premier airport, the premier airport, and generates about 55–60% of the entire revenue from the aviation industry. So he came to see things for himself, to have a first-hand look at things around the airport. And what he saw, he wasn't totally pleased with some of the things he saw. The issue of the runway is there, the terminal building is there, the old terminal building is there, and the present situation, his pronouncement has caused asking airlines and passengers to move from the old terminal to the new terminal. There's a serious chaos right now at that terminal, but we're hoping that in the next 1 week, all these problems would have been sorted out. The case of setting up a task force to ensure that passengers' pains are really, really minimized, because what people are going through at that terminal now is horrendous. Not only that, his pronouncements came, I think, is something I can say good and at the same time not too pleasing, in the sense that he gave a marching order to all the people that need to put that airport terminal in proper shape. He gave them marching order to make sure that those things are done. I think Mr. Keyamo has seen the enormity of work before him, particularly in Lagos, where infrastructure is not so top-notch, and he has promised to do things, something about it. And you remember we also have a terminal that was built and was commissioned about 2 years ago, going to 2 years ago, and that terminal has not been used for obvious reasons. Yeah. The terminal is so small, and the people who came up with the idea to build the terminal there, I think, need to apologize to Nigerians. Why you have to build a terminal. That was not actually the redesign. When the Chinese came, they saw the design and said, okay, this is the design we're going to give to you. I think the former Minister of Aviation, when he now went to China and came back, Mrs. Stella Udua, brought back a different design that didn't even meet the one that the Chinese planned to build at that place. So we now had a problem. What is that problem? We built a terminal that airlines could not use because of the apron. The apron size was not enough. But we still went ahead to complete that project. But after the completion of that project, we needed to sit back and say, okay, what are we going to do? and the former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, said, okay, for us to build this terminal and not put it in use, for us to build this terminal and put it in use, certain structures needed to go. And one of the structures that suffered casualty was the Lagos Office of Accident Investigation Bureau that has been demolished to make way for the expansion of that terminal. Then the Dominion hangar owned by Bishop David Oyedepo has to go, and the other one owned by Dr. Harold Demorin, the former Director General of NCA, has to go within 3 months. So they will need to be relocated before we can begin to use that terminal. And if you also look at it, the old terminal that was built in 1979 has outlived its usefulness. That terminal stinks. Not only does it stink, the facilities there have collapsed. And we have a terminal very close to it that was recently built that, in my view, we can call world class, but we can't use it because wide-body aircraft cannot even go there to pick passengers. So what they want to do is to make sure that those structures live so that they can expand the apron. The apron is the area where airline activities take place, where airlines stay, where all activities within a particular place stay. So wide-body aircraft cannot even come there because of the space. 2 wide-body aircraft cannot come because if they do, with the present situation we have now, we're going to have an accident, an incursion, either incursion or an incident on the apron. So those structures will need to go. So that is why the minister has ordered or directed, let me use that word, that on or before October 1st, airlines should move into the new terminal so that the old terminal can undergo refurbishment. I think that's the right step that the minister has taken. But the other step that he has taken that a lot of people felt he didn't think it through was, telling airlines to move within 1 month. It's going to cause a lot of chaos, and that is what we have seen that is happening at the old terminal now and the new terminal, because a lot of people want to move in almost at the same time, which has dislocated travel, which has dislocated plans of the airlines and passenger facilitation. So I think it's an eye-opener that the minister came and he has seen things for himself. So I think we need to, I want to believe that in the next 1 week, some of these problems will be resolved. But what he has shown is that we have a lot of infrastructure deficit, both at the Lagos and Abuja airport, even in most of our airports, which the minister has also promised to fix, like the second Abuja runway that is coming up very soon. I think within 12 months, that runway should be completed within 12, 16 months. So we have a lot of issues in the sector that it also depends on the type of people Mr. Keyamo surrounds himself with. True. He truly has his work cut out for him, but I am very optimistic that he has all it takes to rescue the industry. And we're also seeing signs of the good things that are about to happen in Nigeria, especially in the airline side. Just yesterday or 2 days ago, United Nigeria Airline was designated to US, UK, Netherlands, great. And
that's Professor Okonkwo.
Obiora.
Yeah.
So it's a good one for airlines because, before now, airlines have been complaining that the bilateral air services...
Yeah, I wanted to go there. How can it be mutually beneficial? That's one thing that the minister should also look at. I was thinking of how that Basel agreement
honestly,
can be.
I think that's what the minister... I think the minister has started on the right footing.
Wow.
He has started well because less than 1 month that he got into office, these things are happening. AirPeace is also there trying to get so many destinations and designations. So it's a good one for Nigeria because it will help us to stem capital flight. Yes, I agree totally that most of our airlines cannot compete with the likes of British Airways, Lufthansa, but at the same time, we have a carrier, or we have carriers that are going to take, I think, a little bit of the share of the market. So it's a good one for Nigeria. I'm really, really excited about it. And more airlines are also showing interest to ensure that Nigerians or Nigerian carriers benefit from this bilateral air services agreement. And I think we saw the president. I saw a news report that the president
stopped by. UAE.
We've had problems with
UAE. Yes.
Nigerians
Emirates and all of that,
yes,
right?
Nigerians
so I'm really interested in that, honestly. Go ahead.
Nigerians cannot travel with your green passport to Dubai. So with what the president, and this has been on for close to 1 year, because at the same time, they have refused to issue visas to Nigerians. One, because we are owing them, their trap fund. They got angry. They wrote a lot of letters to Nigeria. We never responded. They got angry. And because of also the high rate of COVID, they felt Nigerians were coming into Dubai and somehow maybe infecting or allowing the spread of COVID-19 in that country. So we had a lot of issues. But the president has stepped in and said he was going to personally intervene in the issues to make sure that we resume bilateral agreements with the UAE. I think very soon we begin to see relaxation of visas, and this will boost trade. This will boost commerce between both countries. I think is a good thing that we have done this.
It's the right way to go. Let's also look at interference with regulatory issues. I'm thinking around that too, and I see the nod already. How do you think, Mr. Keyamo, how do you think he should handle this? Because likes of like NCAA and all of that. What do you think?
I think the biggest problem we've had with aviation is interference of political interference in the activities of the regulatory body. Yes, and that has been like that for so many years. But the minister said something. He promised that he's not going to interfere in the activities of NCA. You don't need to interfere in the activities of the NCA, but I do not know how the minister is going to do that, because he's the supervising minister. If he does that, it's going to help the ministry. Allow the NCA to do their job. Yours is about policy formulation. If you have anything, policy between Nigeria and any other country, or how you can intervene in airlines problem and crisis, you can come in. But please let NCA do his job. Because the NCA is like they say, is the policeman of the aviation industry. Everything resides with the NCA. If you interfere in the activities of the NCA, it's going to set Nigeria back. So I was very, very excited when the minister promised that it was not going to have anything to do with the autonomy of the NCA. And that is what we're waiting to see, whether he will match his words with actions.
Whether he will match his words with actions. Let's now look at other issues that have been on ground before now. We can't overflog these issues because they have, one way or the other, they impact the industry. They impact output, projected revenue generation, and all of that, and around the aviation fuel issues, safety issues, and all that we've seen in recent times. Are there repatriation of funds?
Yes,
we've talked about that too. So these are very important things. So moving on, how do you see government now as a whole? At the time NNPC was trying to help with the aviation fuel thing, how sustainable was that? What will be your advice?
I think I asked the minister some questions when he came. I told him, I said, there are issues beyond your control. The issue of jet fuel and forest are
beyond the minister.
But he said something. He said he's going to meet with the NNPC to see how this thing can be. I don't know whether we're going to give them subsidy. You know, that sector has been deregulated. Yes, the jet fuel.
Yes. Just like diesel, kerosene, and all of that.
So it is what you buy that you sell. So I don't know how he's going to do that, because aviation fuel takes about 40-45% of airlines' revenue, and jet fare has been stable for close to 3, 4, 5 months now. So airlines can plan with that, and you also know that airfares also have gone up astronomically to between 80, 100, 150,000, depending on the time you're buying your ticket. So I want to believe that the airlines will look at this and how to do their pricing. For Jet A1, I think the only solution to that, if we have our refineries where we can refine these products in-house, locally, and that may probably bring down the price of this commodity. But for now, it's still what it is. But for some time now, the price has been stable. Jet fare has been stable. I think it's about 700, 800 naira per liter.
Wow.
It's stable. You know, there was a time it was skyrocketing, to the extent that airlines were even scared that when it is 1,000 naira, they are going to shut down their operations. But for now, it has been stable.
Well, interesting stuff. Let's wrap up with your outlook. You know, I always like to have that. And we're moving to the Ember months. Yeah. Oh, we're already in the Ember months. It's September already. September, October, November, and December. And we expect traveling and all of that. What is IATA saying, and what are you thinking?
I think it's not just IATA. Okay. I think after COVID, the industry has recovered, or at the verge of recovering 100% to what it was in 2019. The outlook is very positive. Airlines are going to make money. Aviation is going to be prosperous because I don't see any crisis that looks like COVID-19. So airlines are beginning to make profit. Airlines are beginning to look at what Emirates did. Emirates made, I can't remember, but I think it made the biggest revenue ever just 2 months ago. And that shows that the industry is really, really picking up. It's becoming more buoyant like it was in 2019. I think the outlook, it looks very positive, except for Jet A1. For Nigeria, the outlook is very positive with the things I'm seeing and the role the minister is going to play to make sure that aviation is going to be good this year, and generally the outlook is looking good. It's looking good, bearing no unforeseen issues
like beyond our control.
Beyond our control. I think airlines are going to be prosperous this year. We'll
definitely have you in to always look at it as we move on. I must thank you so much for starting the week with us. I've been speaking to Mr. Wole Shadari there. He's an aviation journalist, an analyst, award-winning one. Thank you so much for spending your time this
Thank you for having me.
All right, then.